Friends, I am back with the new episode of Never Say Die series. Today we will interact with Colonel Sunil Prem. इन्होंने अपनी जिंदगी में वो किया जिनके बारे में इनको लगता था कि वो शायद काबिल नहीं है. क्या और कैसे? We will listen from him only, but before that, let's have a look, a little glimpse on his life.
Colonel Sunil Prem was deployed in insurgency-hit Punjab, Northeast and Jammu and Kashmir. Engineers Regiment का हिस्सा होने के नाते, his job was to lay mines, defuse bombs and IEDs, build and blow up bridges, and take up arms as and when required. Once while defusing an IED, he was saved by a whisker as it blew up. उनका मानना है कि लाइफ में God helps those who help themselves. जिसका एक एग्जाम्पल उन्हें मिलिट्री ट्रेनिंग के समय ही मिला when he refused to quit and aspired to complete full commando course, जिसे इंडियन आर्मी का toughest कोर्स माना जाता है with a broken finger. He passed as the best student of the course. मिलिट्री से रिटायर होकर उन्होंने एक कंपनी लॉन्च की जिसमें he lost all of his life savings. He was crushed, but he didn't give up and bounced back to live his passion. जब सब लोग निराश होकर पैंडेमिक को छाते हुए देख रहे थे, तब कर्नल प्रेम उसमें अपॉर्चुनिटीज देख रहे थे and he started another successful venture. इतना रिस्क लेने वाला इंसान वो है जो खुद को आर्मी के लिए मिसफिट समझता था. ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हुआ कैसे? आइए जानते हैं खुद कर्नल सुनील प्रेम से.
Jai Hind sir, and welcome to the show, Colonel Sunil Prem.
Jai Hind DP.
Sir, let's start from your academy days. You said that you were not an extraordinary student और physically भी आप काफी weak अपने आप को मानते थे. Then what happened? आपने आर्मी ज्वाइन करने के बारे में क्यों सोचा?
As you know, the charm of the uniform, because when you look at Fauji's, they look so smart. I also wanted to wear that uniform. But उसके साथ साथ there was also this, I had this uncle who was in the army and I used to see, जब भी मैं उनको visit करता था, that sense of discipline, sense of honesty, that sense of pride, right? And that sense of, self-confidence and never failing. So I also wanted that to rub off me. So that was my reason for joining.
आप एक बार छोटे जूनियर स्कूल में फेल भी हुए थे. Can you throw a light about that incident and how did it shape up your personality?
Yeah, that incident I think I'll never forget in my life. So I had taken a double promotion. Parents ने double promotion कराई थी because I was थोड़ा सा पीछे क्लास में, तो थर्ड से फिफ्थ में पहुंचा था. I came back from home one of these days. I think after the first quarterly, मुंह थोड़ा सा और साइड से मैं निकल रहा था lunch table से. And my parents were sitting for lunch. My dad asked me, क्या हुआ? तो I said नहीं कुछ नहीं. तो he said नहीं कुछ तो है. तो I said पापा फेल हो गया. तो he said कितने में? I said 3. तो I remember he didn't blink. He just said okay, no worries. जाओ हाथ धो, ठीक है, आओ और खाना खाओ. I am sure आगे अच्छा करोगे. So what do you need most at that time? I think what you need is support. When you are doing well, तो हर आदमी आपको शाबाश और करो करने के लिए तैयार होता है. लेकिन जब आप नहीं अच्छा कर रहे होते, उस टाइम if somebody holds your hand, I think that's what builds up your personality. And I think that is the root of my tremendous self-confidence.
God help those who help themselves. You believe in this saying? और ये saying को आपने अपनी जिंदगी में जिया है. Can you give some example about it?
I had volunteered for the commandos course. And as luck would have it, in the second week, unarmed combat pit में, I broke my finger, this one. ये टूट गई वहाँ पे. Now, the option was to, leave the course and go. तो ये था कि भाई लोग कहेंगे यार डर के आ गया. And the other option was, well, continue. So I decided to continue with that broken finger. मैंने एक लकड़ी का पीस लिया, उंगली पे बांधा और उसको अच्छी तरह से जितना कर सकता था टेप अप कर लिया. एक दिन एक वो, you remember that rock climbing होता है. So we were sitting, waiting to climb up, go up, and the doctor chanced up there. He saw my hand tied up, totally tied up. He thought I was shamming. He said, come this side. I went there. He said, take off this bloody bandage. I took off the bandage. and he was shocked for a minute because my hand was totally black. So he said, buddy, this is broken. I said, no, sir. He said, no, I can see this is broken. I'm a doc. I said, no, sir, it's not. So he said, he was just quiet for a while. And then he said, you're going to climb this cliff? I said, yes, sir. मैं वो गिरता पड़ता ही climb करता था, but I went up that rock face and I reached the top. और टॉप के ऊपर यू रिमेंबर वहां पे पहुंचते ही आपको 200 पुशअप्स लगाने होते थे, राइट? सो आई गॉट डाउन माय हैंड्स एंड आई स्टार्टेड मार्विंग द पुशअप्स एंड देन सडनली अ वॉइस सेड just get up. And I looked up, the doctor had climbed up. He was probably looking at me climbing up, and he took me to one side, and uske baad I think throughout the course he had his eye on me. Not just this, I did well on the course, and I was the best in special mission briefing, patrolling. I was also a qualified instructor. But before I got that qualified instructor, you had to pass the mandatory battle obstacle course at the end. It used to be called the confirmatory BOC, battle obstacle course. Now in the BOC, there are 18 obstacles, right? And with my broken hand, I now can never forget कि उसमें 14 में हाथ involved होते थे. तो आपको कभी कहीं climb करना है, कभी कुछ खींचना है, कभी कुछ push करना है, that kind of stuff. And you had to do this in a certain time. Only then would you qualify for an instructor. So well, I also went there and I started the BOC. तो इसमें जो toughest होती थी ना, जहां पे मेरी जान निकलती थी, that was a wall. Now that day I did the same. I ran. मैंने पूरे जोर से छलांग मारी, हाथ तो हुक हो गए, लेकिन इस हाथ में तब तक दर्द हो रही थी. Now the commandant was standing right there. I think the doc must have told him, and I am sure मेरा पैर उस दिन ना हुक नहीं हो रहा था. So commandant ने ऐसे करके धीरे से अपना पैर थोड़ा सा आगे कर दिया, and the next swing I just hooked my foot with his foot and went over that obstacle, completed it, and got my QI. Now this is the same commandant, General YK Sharma, who had one leg, you remember, DP, like you, and the other was an artificial leg. But had he not extended that leg on that day, I would not have gone over that wall, and I would not have become a qualified commando instructor. But he was there to help because I think I was trying my level best. So when you try your level best, जब आप अपना सब कुछ देते हो ना, everybody is there to help you.
So let's talk about an incident which you faced जब आप UN mission पे deployed थे, तो एक life threatening incident आपने face किया था. वो क्या था और what are the lessons which you learned out of that?
This one particularly was in Congo. We were supposed to, separate or rather oversee the separation of the government forces and the rebel forces. There was no respect for life there. It was not an organized militia, so anybody could fire at you. I remember this particular incident when we had gone for a recce, and this group almost blew us off the sky. And then there were other odd instances. I remember once walking, on the outskirt of a minefield, rather of an airfield, and suddenly I realized that they had planted Russian mines all over that place. But all of this, left a lasting impression on me. One was, all this thought about kal main ye karunga, parso main ye karunga, zindagi mein ye ho jayegi, it is all in our minds. We have this moment. That's what we have, right? Tomorrow aayega ya nahi aayega, there is no guarantee. Life is actually just an experience, right? So let's experience it to the best of our abilities.
Once you came out of the uniform, sir, I remember you were sharing कि आपने अपनी पूरी जिंदगी की कमाई एक वेंचर में डाल दी और थोड़े ही टाइम बाद आपको पता चला कि वो सारा पैसा डूब गया. Now ऐसी सिचुएशन में कोई भी इंसान टूट जाता है, स्पेशली व्हेन ही इज सपोज्ड टू टेक केयर ऑफ द होल फैमिली. तो वो क्या माइंडसेट था, आपने क्या किया और क्या उसके बाद बाउंस बैक करने के लिए किया?
उन दिनों पेंशन के टाइम पे प्रोविडेंट फंड वगैरह सब मिला के तकरीबन 29 लाख मिले थे, राइट? आई पुट ऑल दैट मनी, सारा लगा दिया, एंड विद इन 6 months दैट हैड टर्न इनटू जीरो. नॉट जस्ट जीरो, वन ओड 1.64 crores to others. Now at this stage what happens? My entire family was telling me कि यार छोड़ दो, जॉब तेरे को मिल जाएगा, राइट? अभी भी फलाने को देख लो, उसको देख लो. So the option was either leave all this and, get on with your life, or take a risk. So what I did then was I just spread a little word around, and money just poured in. Friends literally put money on the table. I got 96 lakh rupees, right? Restarted with that with another friend. Within 2 years, we had paid back all the money, right, which we morally owed, and all the money which had people had put. We offered them double of that. A lot of them took double. The rest of them decided not to take that, and they said, we'd like to remain your partners, and they're our partners till today. Now, at that moment, if I had not tried, it doesn't matter whether one had succeeded or failed. I succeeded, well, fine. But had I failed, would I have regretted the decision? I don't think so at all. I would have at least tried. I would have known what lies on this path. Because क्योंकि जिंदगी में जब करना है, सक्सेस फेलियर बाद में देखेंगे. पहले चाह क्या है? What is it you want to do? Do you have a passion in life? If you have a passion in life, then try. If there is a failure which you're just not capable of overcoming, just too bad. But if you have the capability, at least give it a shot. And passion can only make you cross the start line, right? Then you require perseverance, right? And you remember NDA, they taught us this thing, कि running across country is very simple. एक ही फॉर्मूला है, पहले एक स्टेप रखो, ठीक है, उसके बाद just think of the next step. That's all. Don't think of the 15 kilometers ahead of you. All you need to think at any moment is the next step. And actually, you look at it, that's what the entire cross country, or that's what the entire life is. So even in software is the same. When I started the company, a lot of advice, तुम तो software engineer ही नहीं हो, which I'm not. I'm an electrical engineer. मेरे को software का S नहीं आता था. But is that a debilitating circumstance? I thought no. Because what I thought was कि यार अगर 10वीं क्लास के 8वीं क्लास के बच्चे प्रोग्राम लिख सकते हैं और मोबाइल ऐप बना सकते हैं, तो यार रॉकेट साइंस तो नहीं हो सकता.
Do you visualize that कि वो never say die attitude के लिए training itself is not sufficient? हो सकता है कि वो किसी इंसान में वैसे भी available हो.
Somebody ever tells you that यार ये तो आप कर ही नहीं सकते हैं, वो अपने बिलीफ की बात कर रहा है, आपकी बात नहीं कर रहा है. वो आप पे डिपेंड कर सकता है आप कर सकते हो कि नहीं. Right. So there is nothing called you can't do anything, and this is what I very strongly feel. I remember कारगिल के टाइम पे भी लोग कहते थे यार नई वाली ब्रीड है, पता नहीं लड़ पाएंगे कि नहीं लड़ पाएंगे. आज लोग कहते हैं there are youngsters who fought Kargil and won it for us. I think in the same manner, when I look at the youngsters in my company, these 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, everybody does not need to wear battle fatigues to serve the country. There are other ways to serve the country. I think उनमें भी उतना ही जोश है, उतना ही जज्बा है, सिर्फ थोड़े से गाइडेंस की जरूरत होती है. So I call such people soldiers at heart. You don't necessarily need to be a soldier in uniform. You can always be a soldier at heart. Because a soldier is not somebody who wears a uniform. A soldier is somebody who lives up to soldierly values.
If I ask you in one word, who is Colonel Sunil Prem?
I would say that I love to live every day as it comes.
Who inspires you?
I don't have one single role model. I really, if you read this book by, which talks about Think and Grow Rich, well, I'm not talking in terms of richness. It talks about a concept of a mastermind group. So I have this habit, whenever I see somebody great, right? I may not be able to take him on as a mentor because he may not be ready to take me on as a mentor. But at least I can put him as a mentor in my mind.
So what does fear mean to you? Fear, dar.
It's totally in your mind. It's got nothing to do with the reality. That fear most of the time is a fear of failure. Now, when will you fail if you don't even take the first step?
So the final question is, sir, what does actual success means to you?
Success to me is experiencing life to the fullest and living up to your own capabilities.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very enlightened and very actually full of contentment, if I can say, to speak to you and learn from your experiences. Thank you so much. And I, on behalf of my whole team, wish you all the best and success in all your future endeavors. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Jai Hind, DP, and thank you to your team. And it was a pleasure talking to you. And well, Jai Hind.
So this was Colonel Sunil Prem, जिन्होंने हमको सिखाया और बताया कि कैसे नेवर से डाई एटीट्यूड ना सिर्फ एक सोल्जर के लिए पॉसिबल है, बट एनीबडी एंड एवरीबडी कैन हैव दैट एटीट्यूड डिस्पाइट बीइंग और नॉट बीइंग ट्रेन्ड फ्रॉम द आर्म फोर्सेस. Next Sunday, I'll come back with another personality and we will understand from him and learn from him about the never say die attitude again. Till then, take care of yourself. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.